This is natural selection, lesson 1.6, activity 2. Today we are going to finalize our answer to the investigation question of what makes the distribution of traits in a population change. To answer this investigation question, which is about a population of any organism, we're going to look at some specific examples using populations from the sim. We're going to be doing this through the write and share routine. In class, write and share routine, every student does something different and then comes together and shares, and so we'll be doing it a little bit differently. You're going to be downloading something from Notability or from Canvas into Notability and completing it in Notability and then turning it back into Canvas. To do this, you need to read and annotate the information and then try to answer the questions using these words. So for this activity, you need to download this into Notability. So you would just go to Canvas. This is NS lesson 1.6 activity 2, which you should be in order to watch this video. So in order to complete this activity, you have to download this into Notability. And then when you're done, turn it back into Canvas. But I'm going to explain what to do first real quick. So right now, there's a student 1, a student 2, and a student 3. Just pick one. And then if you go to the Zoom, we can talk about the different students for people who show up the Zoom on Thursday. So student 1, I'm looking at a histogram for evidence to answer the investigation question of what made the distribution of traits change in a population. So first you're going to examine the histogram and look for evidence about how this population changed. And then you're going to consider what you know about the population and its environment. So here's a histogram. This is what the distribution of traits look like, these dashed bars. This is what they look like at generation 1, and then after 50 generations, the solid gray bar is what the distribution of traits looks like. So you have your starting population, your ending population, your environment. So these are all things that would come from the sim. And so you're basically going to look at this and based on this information, explain why the distribution has changed. So this distribution clearly has changed from a high variation to no variation. There's only one trait here. So you need to explain why using these words. So go to Canvas, download NS Lesson 1.6 Activity 2 into Notability, complete one of these, Student 1, Student 2, or Student 3, and when you're done, turn it into Canvas, and then when you've completed it and turned it into Canvas, come back here and play the video. So now that you have completed the write and share routine and turned it into Canvas, we'll talk about it a little bit. The work you just did interpreting histograms and data about populations and environments is exactly the kind of work that biologists do all the time in order to understand why the distribution of traits in populations can change over time. As you explained the change in distribution in the Australope and thorn palm populations, you looked for effects and interpreted data to understand their causes. This is also similar to work that scientists do in many fields. For example, geologists examine Earth's features, which are the effects, to try and understand what processes cause them. Biologists study how populations have changed and then look for information about changes in the environment to identify possible causes. So the effect is a result or change that happens because of an event or a process. In the write and share routine, you saw an effect, how the population changed. And so you're trying to explain what caused that change. What was the event or process that led to the result or change that you saw in the write and share routine? So we have our key concept here about cause and effect, and that is that biologists analyze data about populations and environments, the causes, to explain changes in the distribution of traits in the populations. So again, make sure you've turned in your write and share routine into Canvas when you're done.